Chunky mobile suit means thick box. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta recording the box sideways because it is too damn tall. I'm kidding, guys. I know there's bigger out there. Today we're going to take a look at the Master Grade DOM. Now, this kit is very special because there is an old Master Grade DOM, but this one is not really a 2.0 from what I heard. It's more of a 1.5. It's like they use a combination between old parts and new parts, you know what I mean? But I never built the old Master Grade DOM, so I can't make the comparison. If you guys did build the old DOM, let me know in the comments down below and tell me your experience on the old Master Grade kit. Taking a look at the box art, we see the DOM ready to cut you up with its beam sabers, and we got two more in the background, so you know it's from the Black Tri-Stars from the original Gundam anime. Taking a look at this side of the box, just shows the inner frame of the head, front and rear shot of the kit, nice action pose, and a heat saber. And I think I said beam saber earlier. Well, it is what it is. And right here just shows off the cockpit opening gimmick, like every Master Grade does, and a marking sticker. Taking a look at this side of the box, just shows off more cool stuff like the updated articulation, the details, nice action pose, and a weapon layout, and I really like what I see. After cracking open the box, you get 10 bags of runners. Yeah, I expect that would happen. And the manual. Here's a cover of the manual. We see a familiar box art. Cracking open the first page, looks like we got some information and lore about the DOM and its variants. Checking the parts list, and looks like we're gonna have a bunch of leftover parts. To the middle of the manual just shows the information of the Battle of the DOMs in Disasta, which is their first appearance in the anime. Moving on down is the painting guide if you're planning on painting it, for the pilot as well. 1-point technique to make those details pop. Moving on over, just shows the nice inner frame. Moving on down, just shows the weaponry. On to the last page, it just shows a guide where to place all the marking stickers. And moving on to the back, here is what the kit looks like when it's all built. Starting with runner A is going to be a multicolored runner. We got a big chunk of gray, black, yellow for the heat saber, and some clear pink. Runner B is going to be the black parts, and here's what I mean. If you look back at the runner, here is the year that this kit came out in 1999, the old one. But like I said, since this is a 1.5, you're going to see a combination between new and old parts. So runner C, but here is runner D, the red parts. Runner E is going to be the purple parts. Got runners F and G, they are going to be the gray parts. H is going to be the big purple parts. Runner I is going to be the black parts. 2 J runners, the gray parts. 2 runner K's, purple parts. Runners L, M, and O is going to be the gray parts, but runner M kind of feels like the polycap runner. And speaking of polycaps, this one came out in 1999, while you got an old school polycap runner that came out in 1998. Runners R1 and R2 are going to be the purple parts that can be sharing this chunk of a runner. 2 runner T's, they are the gray parts. Runner U1 is going to be the last of the gray parts. Finally, we have runner W for the clear parts, and a runner with articulated hands. Now, earlier, I accidentally said marking stickers, but these are water slide decals, which is even better. Whew, that's gonna be it for the unboxing. And man, while I was recording this, I was like, oh man, I hope I'm not gonna be here all night. Don't get me wrong, I am excited, but it is gonna be a very long build, so I'm gonna put this together right now. I'll see you guys right after. And here is the DOM all put together, and I gotta say, I am really impressed with the out-of-box presentation. It's almost like I could just build it and just leave it alone. I just like how simple the designs are in the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime. As for building experience, there were some moments where I accidentally mixed up the old parts for the new parts, so you gotta really pay attention to the manual to pick out what is the right runner so you can find that part. Other than that, I had a great time putting this kit together. And as for seam lines, there's not really any until you look at the back of the legs. Almost dropped it. These are the worst offenders. It's not like you're gonna display the kit from the back, right? As for stickers, the ones I want to point out would be these two pink circles. This one goes onto the eye, while the bigger one is right in there into the bazooka. And yes, there is a clear pink part in there. Now, in this review, I would just end it right here, work on a DOM off camera, but I haven't decided whether I want to do a detail up or give it a full paint job. So for now, I'll just review this kit as is. Moving on to accessories, starting off with hand options. Well, you don't get any because these are articulated fingers. Weapons, you get the Racket 10 bazooka. Hopefully I said it right. So you got this handle that can swing forwards and backwards. You also have this tab that can swing out side to side. It can be a little tricky, but once you get it out, and here's what it looks like, and it plugs into the hand. Except you have the giant bazooka, the DOM's iconic weapon. You have the secondary handle, which can move up and down. Now, the handle does not move forward or backwards, but it is made up for it for having these two tabs to move sideways, so you can do over shoulder or under the arm. And earlier I showed you that this can flip out to reveal the scope. Next up, you have the machine gun. Pretty generic, but you do have this removable ammo clip, which is cool and all. But the one thing that's not good is that it does not have a peg that can swing side to side. So you're gonna have to fiddle around with it, and hopefully it stays in the hand. And to store it, you just flip out this peg right here, and you can store it onto the side skirts. How? Well, let me show you. You're gonna have to pop off this purple piece, which reveals a little hole. Speaking of ammo clips or magazines, whatever you call it, you do get more of these. Sorta. It's just there to make the DOM look more armed. Except you got two of these Sturmfaust, and they are the inactive version. To make it to the active version, you're gonna need these pieces. So basically, you're gonna have to take off the top part and plug in right there. Like the machine gun I showed earlier, it does not have a peg because, well, due to the design, but at least you can still hold it. Sort of. Now, it does get stored on the side skirts, but you're gonna need these pieces to store it. Just make sure you line up correctly so it won't fall out too easily. Except you have its iconic heat saber, not beam saber, and yes, it does have a tab that swings side to side so it can hold it. And to store it, it goes right here, just like that. And finally, you get a 1/100 scale pilot figure. Moving on with articulation, the head can move side to side, but due to design, it is limited. It could also move up and down. And if you take up the top part of the head, the mono eye can move up and down and side to side. Shoulders have really good range of movement, like it can move forward and back, it can move up and down, and it's also on a ball joint as well. So the arms can move up this far up. It has a bicep swivel, double bend on the elbow, and there's a ball joint on the wrist. Well, actually, the wrist can move up and down. There's also a hinge so it can do like a little wrist flap, and the articulated fingers like I mentioned earlier. Also, it does have really good range of movement, but there is no waist swivel due to design. Of course, the cockpit does open up, which reveals a pilot figure, and yeah, I know the lighting is not the best. I promise you, it's in there. Front skirt can move up that far, side skirt does not move, nor does the back skirt. If you look really closely in there, there's like a little swing hip mechanism which allows the leg can kick up this far. It can move back that far. For the splits, well, this is what you're gonna get. You get a thigh swivel, double bend at the knee, which reveals some really nice knee armor separation. For feet, you do have some really good movements, like it could rotate, it can kick up or move up that far, excuse me, can move back, not much. And as for pivot, I'd say it's not too bad. Onto the backpack, the thrusters are on a ball joint, well, a little tight ball joint. While the articulation is limited, mainly because due to design, you can't do like any dynamic posing. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Some of you guys can do better posing than I can. As comparisons, here it is right next to the Gundam Mark II. And as you can see, they're about the same height. Keep in mind, both of them are just a tad bit taller than the standard size Gundam. Finally, here it is right next to an SD kit or SD Aerial and Lego Aquaman. So that's gonna be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Moving on to my final thoughts. Overall, I think it's a pretty nice kit. My problem is that the articulation is a little lacking in some areas, but everything else is fine. I forgot to mention during the review is that there's these tabs that you can move out on the hands, which gives the weapon like a nice tight secure. It still kind of bothers me that the machine gun doesn't even have that tab, but hey, it is what it is. And after getting this kit, does it make me want to go out there and get the Rick DOM? Well, even though there's like almost no difference besides like the thrusters and maybe the weapon layout, yeah, maybe I'll get it. In the end, I say pick this kit up. You'll have as much fun as I did. So that's it for the review. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Questions, concerns, comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. I can imagine some of you asking me to get 2 more of these so I can complete the Black TriStar team.